do is simple. If the government says that our embassy should be the station for Ghanaians to go, that should be it. If you don't live in Washington, and Washington is the only place where we have an embassy, then you make the choice to vote or not to vote. After all, in this country, there are some people who stay just a few meters from voting station, but they do not go to vote. Nobody complains about that.
So, Prof,
for me, it's a matter of having the will to do it.
Absolutely. And then what you also, from what you tell us, this is not a logistics problem at all.
It shouldn't be. Logistic problem first. If the Electoral Commission wants to send its own staff to all these embassies, which was one of the arguments I had years ago, which is ridiculous. The EC doesn't have to send its voting people all over the world. You simply designate an official at the embassy to be in charge of that. But to think you have to send an electoral officer and wherever, all over the places where we have embassies before that can take place, it's just a pipe dream. It's not possible. I don't think the Ivorians send the Electoral Commission in Ivory Coast, send its officers to the embassy here. It's a matter of an arrangement between the Foreign Ministry and the Electoral Commission that, look, on this day of the election, maybe a senior officer or somebody at your office in Russia or Moscow or Washington or London must be designated as such, and that person should make sure provisions are made. But we tend to exaggerate things for all kinds of very interesting, but at times useless arguments. And that's why Ghana, for over 20 years, we've not been able.
For Ghanaians abroad, do you find, I mean, to the best of your knowledge, do you find that there is interest in wanting to implement ROPA in the next election or any other election to come?
The way I've seen it over the past 20 years, I'm doubtful if they are going to push for that, unless the Electoral Commission itself gathers courage and engage the government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to facilitate the point that I just made, what the Ivorians have demonstrated to us. But if people are going to come up with this same argument of the Electoral Commission has to send its own officers abroad to supervise because perhaps they don't trust the local government officials or embassy officials, then it means they don't want to have it. Even in our own country, the Electoral Commission is not able to 100% police all the stations. We continue to have problems at electoral stations. So wanting to send your officers abroad is not the answer. Just as those who make the legal argument that the Constitution says all Ghanaians have the right to vote, sure. But the Constitution does not also say that the government is compelled, but under every circumstance, to make provision for every Ghanaian to vote.
Very well.
But if you want to pursue that legal argument, then nothing will happen. You check with Ivorians to see how many of them in Ghana were able to come to Accra because the embassy is only here in Accra. But those who are capable, who are interested, came down to exercise their franchise.
Indeed.
But we are timid in a way. We allow legalities to cripple what we could have done long ago.
Well, Prof, I'm going to have to say thank you at this point. I appreciate your time with us this afternoon. Professor Agyeman is a former United Nations advisor on governance. He's also with CDD Ghana. Now, I want to look at other issues now, this time to do with cybersecurity, because the former Information Minister, Kojo Oponkroma, has expressed worry over a draft cybersecurity bill, which he fears could criminalize speech. According to him, the proposed legislation seeks to make it an offense to post or share comments in online chat groups that may be considered offensive or insightful. President John Dramani Mahama recently announced a plan to trace the IP addresses of individuals spreading hate speech or inciting violence with the aim of holding them accountable.
What we are seeing appears to be a draft, and that they want to consult on that draft. From what I have seen as a former information minister, this draft is dangerous, though it's not surprising. And let me explain why it's not surprising. It's not surprising because I think the president first announced it, that they are going to use the national security apparatus to go after people who make comments on social media that they consider, for whatever reason, whether it's under hate speech or it's under whatever, they consider it unfavorable. They're going to search for your IP addresses and then get the security apparatus to go after you. The president himself said it. So it's not surprising that his minister is now following up with a draft bill with such wild provisions in there. What is dangerous about it is that over the last set of decades, various countries have been moving away from criminalizing speech. There are other remedies for speech that may be deemed unfavorable, most of them civil, but not necessarily criminalizing it. Even the Criminal Libel and Sedition Act was repealed by the Kufuor administration. There are still remnants of laws that still seek to criminalize speech. For example, this law that is being used a lot, publication of false news, with intent of causing fear and panic, is one of those laws that actually still needs to be repealed. Instead of repealing that to advance, democratic freedoms, the government is now seeking through this draft that it wants to consult on to enact legislation that will now even ensure that when you put up a comment in your chat groups and they find it offensive according to their criteria, you could go to jail. And I think it's a very dangerous, encroachment into the area of free speech. The government needs to tread cautiously. I'm hopeful that when the consultations start, the government will see wisdom in backtracking and ensuring that instead of rather seeking to further criminalize speech, even the remnant laws on criminalization of speech should be repealed.
Kojo Oponkroma is of Wasi Ayirebi MP. He's also a former information minister. Now let's show you some of the gray areas he's identified for which reason he's raising the alarm at this time. Section 57C4 of the draft cybersecurity bill says 30% of the revenue generated by a certified cybersecurity professional or practitioner or cybersecurity service provider under the scheme shall be paid into the cybersecurity fund. And then much more gray areas will be also to do with penalization, which is where we are going to at this time. Section 59F. 1, an investigative officer may apply ex parte, which means that you don't have to be there in the High Court when that application is made. And this application can be made to remove or render inaccessible computer data on a computer or computer system that is suspected to contain information relevant to an investigation. And this will be without your permission or authorization whatsoever. Section 59J, a person designated as an inspector by the authority may obtain a warrant to enter and inspect premises and conduct an audit of a computer. This is also, again, at the discretion of the inspector to then go through the courts to get a warrant to do this. At any reasonable time, enter, inspect premises, and conduct an audit of a computer system without a warrant. Also, a very, very gray area, which the former information minister is raising questions about. At any reasonable time, enter, inspect premises, and conduct an audit of a computer system without a warrant. Also given a lot of discretion to the inspector. Section 67B1, a person shall not use the internet, chat room, a social network site, an online gaming platform, or a virtual, augmented, and mixed reality to harass or stalk a person, assume a false identity to anonymously harass or stalk a person, create false information about a person, or post or disseminate false information about a person. And it goes, on, and these are some of the concerns raised by the Ofuase Ayirebi MP. More on this in subsequent broadcasts. Right now, however, the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of the Interior, has announced plans to declare a Ghana amnesty program in the coming days. This is part of efforts to address the growing proliferation of illicit firearms and rising gun-related violence across the country. Now, according to a statement issued by Executive Secretary of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Dr. Adam Bona. The Interior Minister has expressed deep concern over the increasing use of unauthorized weapons, which continue to fuel violent crimes, land disputes, and social unrest. Now, the Commission, in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service and other security agencies, has proposed several policy interventions to combat the menace, including the upcoming Amnesty Initiative. Now, this program will offer individuals in possession of unregistered or illegal firearms the opportunity to voluntarily surrender them without facing arrest, interrogation, or prosecution. Let's have a quick chat with Head of Communications and Media, the National Commission on Small Arms, Reverend Carl Nyanyete Sowa. Reverend, I appreciate your time this afternoon. We've seen this before. I mean, so many times in this country we've had amnesty programs, but it would appear they only work for a short period of time. Why is the Commission reverting to this?
So, thank you very much for the opportunity, and a warm afternoon to your viewers and the listeners. Now, as you rightly said in your preamble, if I may call it that, there were a number of policy directives or actions that were proposed to the Honorable Minister for the Interior. And key was a gun amnesty. Now, that should show that a lot of thought has gone into this. So this gun amnesty, if it should be declared by the Honorable Minister in his own wisdom and time, will not be like any other gun amnesty you've known. Because a lot of thought has gone into it, a lot of consideration, and policy directives and narratives have been considered before this very point. So this shows the commitment of the government and the Honorable Minister in fighting the proliferation. So it will not just be like the normal gun amnesty you've witnessed.
I see. So, Carl, what will be different? Directive. Very well. What will be different this time to ensure that the benefits that we see in the first few months of the amnesty program is sustained?
Okay, so thank you very much. So it is only the Honorable Minister for the Interior who has the right to declare the gun amnesty. And I'm sure that when the time is right, in his wisdom and expert knowledge, he feels that it is right, he will make that declaration. And there, he is going to outline even the period, the modalities, and what is going to happen. But I can tell you from where I sit, is that a lot of thinking and planning has gone into this, and Ghanaians should take advantage of the window of opportunity this gun amnesty will offer when it is declared, so that they can surrender their firearms. Because you see, that window of opportunity means that when you surrender your firearm, you are not going to be prosecuted. No charges will be pressed against you. No questions will be asked, because the government, through the Honorable Minister, will give you the opportunity to bring in or surrender your firearm. And that is what we want to tell Ghanaians, that gun amnesty is coming. The minister and the government is seriously considering it. When it comes, take advantage of it. Right. So that together we can make the country safe.
Right. So I take it as we do not know the modalities such as when and where all of these things will happen for people to deliver their guns yet. However, what I'm asking is in terms of sustainability, to ensure that the proliferation is curbed, and not only for a short period of time, but for long-term purposes. What are you doing differently to ensure that this amnesty has a long-lasting effect?
Okay, so thank you very much. You see, I don't want to preempt whatever the minister will declare, because he's still considering it with his technical team. And I can tell you that when it is declared, all these modalities and what will happen afterwards, the plans put in place will actually be shared. You know, these are security actions. So it is not everything you can divulge. What we can tell you for now is that gun amnesty is coming, and Ghanaians should take advantage of it. I can also tell you that it will not be the kind you've witnessed before. This is going to be sustained, and this will yield the needed results with your support and the support of all Ghanaians.
Very well, Carl.
You see,
Thank you so much for talking to us.
All right.
Reverend
All right,
Carl
thank you too.
Nianyete Soa speaks for the National Small Arms Commission. We've just been having a discussion on the upcoming gun amnesty program, and when it is implemented, we'll tell you more about it. In the meantime, Minister for Education, Harun Idrisu, has issued a stern warning against inappropriate hairstyles and dressing among students in the various second cycle institutions across the country. At the 75th anniversary of Mauli Senior High School in Ho, the minister urged the Ghana Education Service and school heads to take full control of how students behave on campus.
There is an ongoing debate in social media about haircuts and size and length of hair in secondary schools. We will not tolerate it today, we will not tolerate it tomorrow, and so long as we are molding character, if we give in to head today, tomorrow it will be shoes, and the next day it will be the way they dress. Therefore, as part of our disciplinary measures, headmasters and GES, you are accordingly empowered to take full control of how students behave on your campuses. So anybody who thinks that your child will walk into any institution of learning as if that child, forgive my words, was to attend a beauty contest, the school environment is not for that purpose and not cut for that purpose, and we will not tolerate that as an institution. There is a lot of growing indiscipline in our schools, some even with teachers abusing. We will not accept that.
Well, this has generated a lot of conversations across the country, which is why we're having a quick chat on the back of that announcement by the Education Minister. Thomas Musa is General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, and he's joining us for this chat. Thomas, I appreciate your time with us this afternoon. The debate has already begun. The applause were loud when the minister made the comment at the 75th anniversary of Mauli Senior High, Mauli Senior High School. What I want to find out from you is whether NAT endorses the minister's position.
Yes, good afternoon to yourself and to all your viewers. The Ghana National Association of Teachers, we 100% and fully support the Honorable Minister for Education, Harun Idrisu. We've been here before, not too long ago. You remember Achimota? You remember Achimota School when the gentleman, I've just forgotten the name, who went there with the rasta, and it was a whole issue, back and forth. The matter went to court. Just know that we've gone past this stage. The educational institution is not a fashion center. It is a learning institution. It is a learning institution. So whoever goes there to learn must be ready to abide by the rules of the game. And it is important. We teach, like I always say, that when we are teaching children, we teach them three things. We are teaching the mind, we are teaching the heart, and we are teaching them the heart. The heart aspect is also taught. So please, it's a holistic training we give to children. We are training them.
So the question for many people will be what someone's hair has to do with all that training you're giving them.
My sister, you see, when you are in a training, when you go to the training institution, I have already told you 3 aspects of the person is being trained. We are training the mind, we call the cognitive. We are training the heart or the emotional aspect, what we call the affective domain, for the child to be patriotic and all that. Then the affective. So it is a total education you are giving to the person. You don't single out only one aspect of it. Even to the extent we have what we call the life skills and all those things. These are things that are taught. How to eat at the dining table, how to, walk, how to. Have you forgotten courtesy for boys and girls? Maybe it's these
But
days,
but
some of
Ketsi,
these things-
but you see, Ketsi for boys and girls did not say that the girls should have short hair before they
you
can be
see-
courteous. So the question I'm asking is, if I
Yeah.
have long hair, this training you are giving me can't enter my head.
Look, it is as important as anything. When a student, when any person goes to the learning center, there are certain things that can become obstruction, can obstruct the child from learning. It can take the center stage where it can prevent the child from focusing. You have gone to school. Like I'm saying, the school is not a fashion center. You don't need a hairdresser there that I'm going to do my hair and cap. No. When you are going, put your hair at a level where when you are going to learn, the moment you enter the school, you will have nothing to do with any salon. You will have anything to do with any person regarding you need somebody to braid your hair or no. Put yourself in a position that as a learner you can learn. Look, take athletes. When they are going to run, why would they be in coat? Why would the athletes who run the 100 meters, the 200, why would they be in coat? You dress according to what is at stake. What is at stake? So please, learning institutions are learning institutions.
Very well, Tanko.
Are the rules of the game. When you go there, look, if any person has a special case, we can treat it like that. You can treat it in isolation. Go to the school head, discuss it with him or her, and they can look at your case. But to generalize it, that we should allow any person, then soon at the school, salons will come and set up. We will need more salons to be established at our secondary schools. We will need people, those who do the hair, we will need them there to help the women braid their hair and all that. Is that what we want?
Very well, Tanko. I mean, this is just one part of the many things that the minister spoke about at that anniversary. What? No, hang on. Let's make progress. Let's make progress, please. One of the things he worried about was the increasing in discipline in our senior high schools, and his caution to school heads was to take full control. What do you understand by that?
Full control means it includes the appearance of the student. The students must dress according to the school rules. Look, some time ago we have students who dress and say autopista. Have you forgotten? Have we forgotten autopista?
What is that?
We had a Black Star coach who, when he dresses, the shorts is instead of the shorts coming to his waist, he will pull his shorts down somewhere to below his back, below his bottom there. Sorry for my language, down there. So when the students go to school, when you say somebody has dressed autopista, the short, instead of pulling down to their waist level, they'll bring it down to their thigh level. And you see all their panties showing. Is that what we want? They call it autopista. And the boys started dressing that way. The school heads have to rise up to make sure that, look, this is not our culture. You can't dress that way. And it was corrected. So if this one is accepted, then we must accept autopista. We must also accept autopista.
I see.
We have been there. I'm telling you, look, we have been here before. Autopista came in, it was corrected. We have had a rasta thing, it was corrected. So we've been here before. Nobody should come and don't let us create the impression like this is the first time. What the minister said, the minister is on point. He is 100% correct. Let all the nation and parents rally around the minister. If any person has a problem, let the person go to the school. Let us treat those issues as isolation.
Very well.
Don't let us generalize the issue like if I want to put on autopista. I remember somebody was asking me. I was Tigari. I'm coming.
Okay.
The person watching Tigari, and the person comes to the school that I want to go topless. Will it be allowed?
All right, Tanko. So away from the aesthetics of students, right? The issue of indiscipline is also very important to the minister. What I'm asking is, he asks the head teachers to take full control. In taking full control and ensuring discipline in your schools, what would that look like?
So, for example, when we say the head teacher or the school management is in charge, It means that once you, the parent, you hand over your ward to the school, it means that whatever happens there, you are liable. You, the head, or together with the management, you are liable. You must make sure that the students are safe. You create a very conducive learning environment. Everything that goes with teaching and learning must be highly protected and be seen as sacred to ensure that the activities of the schools or the school can go on. So it is not only the it has to do with everything: the health, the mental state, the environment, the classroom, everything that will become as an enabler for teaching and learning to go on must be done. And so all the schools are involved. The teachers will live with the students are with the teachers, the how do you call it, the canteen there, or the kitchen, the kitchen people, they are also working. All the security people there, they are also, everybody
Very well.
who has some work to do there, everybody must do the same. My sister, let me conclude on this one. You see, I want to insist that we have been having this conversation, and it looks like of late the SHS or the secondary schools, any person that gets up think that it can be done at the secondary school. Let us be careful. And I repeat, we've been here before. We've seen Otofista, we've seen Rasta. This one they say they had this thing. We've been here before. If any person has any issue, please go to the headmaster or the mistress and discuss. Let us treat this thing as isolation and not as a general rule.
Very well.
Thank you very much.
Thomas Tanko Musa is General Secretary of NAT. Thomas, thank you so much for talking to us here on News Central. We'll take a very first break, but when we come back, we'll take you to the residence of the Rawlinses here in Accra, where the Book of Condolences has been opened, but also dignitaries continue to pour in to commiserate with the family. Don't go away. Welcome back. It's still News Central here on TV3. I'm Kemini Amanor. As Ghana continues to mourn its former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings, dignitaries are still pouring into her home here in Accra to commiserate with the family. And that's where we're going at this time. George Queenan is our reporter at the residence. George, what can you report?
Cool. A very good afternoon. We are coming to you live from the residence of the Rawlingses at Ridge here in Accra. And today, of course, is the resumption of the family meeting where they are expected to meet mourners, sympathizers, loved ones who are here to extend their condolences. And the members of the Council of State have just paid their condolence and they are exiting this very premises. But I would like to just take some few words from Honorable Betty Modidisu, who also spoke on behalf of the council, and she is the former Minister of Justice and Attorney General. We would like to pick some few words from her. And Honorable, we are live on TV3. I know you spoke on behalf of the Council of State. You are ready to partake in the decision making for the burial of the First Lady. What does this death mean to you? I know it's a big blow to you.
Council of State is an advisory body, so not in the decision making. It was so shocking to all of us, and that is why
you said you want to be part of the decision. The family should actually consider you when they are deciding the burial. You know, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't. They should consider including us as part of. We are an advisory body, part of that. But you know, we are all collectively shocked, and I think the nation lost its breath for some time, and we are here today to, lend our little support and our sympathy so that they will see it's a national matter. Indeed, it's transcended national, it's global now. Transcended African, it's global. So this is why the Council of State is here today. And
when you talk about women empowerment, she really comes to mind. How did you benefit from that very commitment of hers?
Well, I think everybody knows how I benefited because she opened the doors for us. Being the first is always very difficult. And sometimes being the only one is a lonely road to tread. She was the first, she was the only one for some time, and then she brought us all on board. So all of us benefited. I became the first woman Attorney General, there was the first woman Chief Justice, and so on. So it was a great experience.
Thank you so much. Betty Modidisu is former Minister of Justice and Attorney General, and she led the pack of the members of the Council of State. And I want to really engage the General Secretary of the NDC, that's Fifi Kwete, and Haruna Hassan Ayarga just arrived, and he is the leader of the APC, and he is also here to extend his condolences to the family. And welcome, Honorable. You're live on TV. Just some few words from you.
Oh, thank you very much. I think we are all here to pay our respect to our.
So if you just tuned in, we are coming to you live from the residence of the Rawlingses, and a lot of dignitaries are coming through to extend their condolences to the family. Today, of course, is the resumption. The opening was on Friday, and so today is a continuation where they are expected to meet, loved ones to, extend their condolences. The book of condolences have been open in that regard, and so sympathizers have the opportunity to pen something about this former First Lady. So the General Secretary of the NDC wants to address the press, and so we just want to pick some words from him here.
The Honorable,
yes.
My deepest condolences to you. Well, this is a national mourning, but for
absolutely,
the NDC, I know this hits us harder. But Honorable, throughout this visitation period, one thing that has been running through is the First Lady's legacy.
Yeah.
How well do you think we can preserve these legacies?
I should think first by working hard for Ghana to continue being a great and strong country, because really she spent a good part of 20 years right in that pursuit as first the wife of a military leader, who transitioned into a constitutional leader and basically help to literally protect this whole democratic journey. Through their effort together, we have now a stable democracy. So I think that's the first thing. We need to preserve that democracy and also work in making sure that the Ghana that they toil to build continues to remain great and strong. To the issue about women in particular and children, that was really like a legacy. It's something that as a country we all need to help to ensure that the country becomes increasingly a place where women find much more expression in order to bring the best out of themselves, and also we create opportunity for our children to rise to become the best that they can. That's the only way we can honor a legacy.
In your remark, you mentioned a time without number efforts that the NDC had made to ensure that the First Lady was brought back into the party. Does the NDC regret that you were unsuccessful at doing so?
I wouldn't say unsuccessful. I would rather say that maybe the time was exactly what made it a bit difficult, because clearly, even on her part, you could see clearly she was ready. Because I mean, we've constantly said that I mean, the role that she played is finally founded this party, making this party great and strong. Despite the difficulties that came along the way, we needed to ensure that we placed those behind us. I'm happy that at least during her time, this effort started, and she obviously embraced it. We were hoping that the 5th anniversary of the founder was a time where we were going to bring a culmination of that whole effort. But as you said, man proposes, God disposes. But I'm happy that during her life, she could see that effort happen. So that clearly made her to feel that all the work that she's done in building the party has not totally been ignored, and she has been recognized.
So what role is the party playing to ensure she gets a befitting burial?
Everything that needs to be done. First and foremost, supporting the children, and don't forget the children are members of the party. The eldest is a member of parliament, so this is effectively our funeral. Also, the fact that she is a founding mother of the party, so everything that can be done to honor her legacy and honor the role that she played in establishing this great party is something that the party would definitely do everything to ensure that she's given the proper befitting burial.
Thank you.
George Quinn in there live from the residence of the Rawlinses here in Accra. We just heard from the General Secretary of the governing NDC, Fifi Fiavekwete. We can now bring you regional stories in Regional Hub. Public consumer interest in the evaluation of the tariff hike proposals. The statement comes amidst widespread public concern over the magnitude of the proposed increments. Let's connect now with Belinda Tete, who is our Bono region correspondent, who's been engaged in the National Executive Secretary of the PURC. Belinda, what else has he been telling you?
So we all know that the proposals that were being made or being tabled towards the PURC for the quarterly adjustment of utility tariffs. The proposals were quite met with on cold shoulders of consumers and business owners who expressed concerns that they weren't being factored in the proposals that were being made. But I was speaking to the executive secretary of PURC, who tells me that consumers are duly going to be considered in the consideration of the tariffs that were being presented, because they know the consumers are the ones who, if they do not purchase the utility towers, they also will not get their money. And so they are going to consider them before they are going to accept or settle on a given proposal. They are going, even through the jojoring and everything, they are going to make sure that consumers are the central part of consideration before they settle on a set percentage for consideration. Let us listen to Dr. Sulemana, who is the Executive Secretary of PURC.
And what the consumers are also advocating that they can pay is we are putting it together before we come out with the decision. So it does not mean that the utilities proposals will be accepted at all. I can assure the consumer that the Commission would take care of their interests and ensure that the utilities do not overburden them with tariffs that they cannot pay. Mindful that we are all consumers and our salaries must be commensurate with what we are paying for, especially in addition to the services and quality of services they are offering.
Belinda Udive here. Thank you so much for talking to us. Belinda Tete is our Bono region correspondent. Away from that, traditional leaders of the Eastern Nzima Traditional Council in the Western region have called for peace in the enclave. According to them, the beleaguered paramount chief, Awulai Amihir Kwanyile III, who is the only signatory to the council's development bank account, is now unable to append his signature due to the court case, thereby halting major developmental initiatives in the area. Irama Smith has more.
In 2024, the Queen Mother of the Eastern Nzima Paramountcy, Abulahima Avonima III, together with the Busuapenyin of the Eastern Nzima royal family, Frank Kwasi, filed a petition at the law court against Awulai Amehie Panyile III, accusing him of gross misconduct and incompetence. Whilst the case was in court, the Indrafo royal family installed a new paramount chief, Awolai Blade IX. At a press conference in Takrady, the chief of Anya, Nana Simali Panyile V, expressed frustration over the current situation. According to him, since Awolai Panyile III is the only signatory to funds from major companies operating in the Nzima enclave, development in the area is being hampered.
But as at now, nothing comes.
So which means that we're not getting anything.
We are not getting anything because they have occupied the place, and the place too is there. All the documents are, and that man calling himself as a paramountcy, he have no right to sign any check to any chief because the signature doesn't go anywhere apart from a William Shapani, the fifth, the third.
He called on security agencies to urgently intervene in order to prevent tensions in the area from escalating.
The security should intervene for peace to prevail. If not, it will be a disaster.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Takrady.
Secondly, Takrady Metropolitan Assembly has cut sword for the commencement of 13 key development projects valued at some 13.17 million cedis. The projects, which are being funded through the District Assembly's Common Fund, aim to improve infrastructure in education, health, water and sanitation.
The 13 new projects are being rolled out under the District Assembly Common Fund, targeted at improving basic infrastructure across the metropolis. The project will deliver new classroom blocks, health facilities, boreholes and sanitation projects to address long-standing infrastructure deficits across the metropolis. The Secondary Modern Nursery is one of the beneficial institutions. The intervention is said to be timely as the school is currently in the deteriorating state. Through the intervention, a new 2-unit KG block will be constructed. Metropolitan Chief Executive Lawyer Frederick Fedo, during a sword cutting ceremony, stated the projects were carefully selected following extensive consultation with the District Assembly, Common Fund Secretariat, and the residents to ensure they address the most pressing developmental need of the people.
Local Governance Act, the assemblies are supposed to bring development to their people, to the grassroots. And these are the processes by which development is brought to the grassroots. Ceremony to commence construction of a KG classroom, a 3-unit KG classroom. This is being sponsored from the District Assembly Common Fund. The Common Fund designated 10% of the amount into educational development. And not only that, for the 10%, the Assembly is supposed to put up 1 KG, 1 primary school, and then 1 DHS. Now we have complied strictly with the guidelines given by the Common Fund.
The MC said extensive community consultation informed the project selection, ensuring fair distribution across the 3 sub-metros. He noted, however, that many of the projects are concentrated in the rapidly growing Eskedu-Keten constituency to meet with the rising infrastructure needs.
Approach is to spread all these projects in all the 3 communities or sub-metros. For instance, 10% of the Common Fund is to be used in putting up a chip compound, 2 chip compounds. We are putting one up at Kansarolo and another at Eshim. Now we have sent all these 2 projects to Eskedu-Keten because That is where it is that constituency that is now expanding. Most of the developments, the new developments are taking place in Eskadokatan, Eshie, Mampon areas.
He emphasized the project will not only enhance living standard, but also generate employment opportunity for the youth. All the contractors engaged for this project are local contractors. For projects of this nature, we cannot afford to bring in foreign contractors. Moreover, working with local contractors make it easier for us to monitor progress on site. I've also charged them to employ the youth in the communities where the projects are being executed as a way of creating jobs for the teeming youth within the metropolis. As the shovel says the ground, the assembly is sowing seed of progress with the hope that with commitment and transparency, this project would blossom into a lasting change across the metropolis. For TV3 News, I'm Stephen Kujo, second day.
Well, now it's time for us to go. As always, I'm grateful for your company. Next is the afternoon show. News Central returns same time tomorrow. I'm Kemini Amanor. Bye-bye.